Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My brother guys, thank you so much for all your support. Please, if you're new to my channel, you're welcome to my channel. Please subscribe if you've not subscribed and click the notification bell so that whenever I upload new video you'll be notified. Today I'll be making 12 pieces blouse. I promised to make it, but I haven't made it since because I was very busy, but I'm going to make it today. These are the material that we need. This is zip, open end zip, open end zip. This one is ST fabric interlining or interfacing, the fabric one. This one is the wadding to pad the bust parts, and this is lining, and this one is African print. I also need this pattern. I uploaded this video like 2 weeks ago. It's on YouTube now. It's how to make Princess Dart Bustier pencil dress. So I'll use the pattern to make this. But if you're making your 6 pieces dress or 8 pieces dress, or if you're making it, if you want to draft pattern for it, you don't need to put your fabric on fold to draft it. You just need your quarter of your biggest measurement. Like my hip is 46 divided by 4 is 11.5. So 11.5 plus 6 inches for extra seam allowance, and the dart for the dart that I will cut off. So your quarter of your biggest measurement plus 6 inches extra. So that's what you need. You don't need to put it on fold. And the length you need is the length of your blouse. Like I'm making blouse today, the length I actually need is 25 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. Like on this one now, I've used this one to make dress, but I'll cut the length that I want out. I will still use the pattern to make this. So I'm going to show you how to do it now. So this is the pattern. You see why I said that you don't need to put your fabric on fold when you're drafting your pattern is only because I need only one center one and one side one. That's the only one side that I need for pattern. So now from shoulder to this line is 25 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. I just marked this 1 inch seam allowance now. So I'll cut it on this seam allowance line. This should be my blouse. If you're making your own blouse, you don't have to make it this long, the pattern. The length you need is the length you want for your blouse, 24-25 inches, the length you actually want for your blouse, plus 1 inch seam allowance. So I'll cut it on this. This is 25 inches. I added 1 inch seam allowance. I'll cut it, so I don't need these ones because what I'm making now is blouse. I'll use this to cut out my wadding before I will now cut it this one again. I'll cut this one into 2 because I'm making 12 pieces blouse. But if you're making 6 pieces blouse, you don't need to cut this one into 2. The only thing you need to do is to fold your African print into 2, unfold. Put your African print on fold and put this on top of it. From your waistline, you add your the A-line allowance, like 4 inches, depending on how you want it. You can use 3.5, you can use 4 inches. I can use 5 also, but it's not good when it's too much. 4 inches on this side, you will not add much. You might add like 3 inches on this side, or because you have some allowance. So, and this one also, you add from your waistline 4 inches if you're making 6 pieces blouse. I'm going to cut the wadding. From shoulder to this line is 6 inches. So I'll cut my wadding to underbust. From shoulder to this line is 6 inches. So my wadding will start from here to underbust. So I put this on fold. This is the folded edge. I'll put it like this. Though I'll still cut the wadding into 2 because I'll put zip, it's front zip. Okay, I'm going to cut it now. Just the shape here. So on this side, this is under bust. So this is the part. One full padding, you don't need to cut it into two, but for this particular blouse, I must cut it into two because I'll put zip in the middle here. So this is the center. There will be zip there. I'll cut it into two. So I'll do it like this. Shape it. But like on that 6 pieces dress, you can use it like this if you want. You can just use it like this if you want. If you want, you can cut it into two also. Okay, I'm going to trim it to cut it into two. This one is for center one. I'll use it for the center one. I'll cut the side one now. I want to cut the side one. I put the wording on fold. So I'll minus my seam allowance. My seam allowance is 3 inches. I'll minus 3.5, extra half inch. I'll minus 3.5. So I'll cut it. I'll put it on fold. This is on fold, the wording. So I'll cut it to underbust. On this side, I'll come down by 1 inch. So I'll cut it. This is underbust. So this one is for the side one. This is for the side one. If I want, I will still trim it on this side, the side, but it's okay like this. So I'll use this for the side one. Now I'm going to divide this into two. Sometimes you can just divide it into two, or you minus your seam allowance and divide it into two. So now I'll minus my seam allowance, which is 3 inches. Then I'll divide this one into two. This is 7 inches. 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5. So that 3.5, I'll add 1 inch seam allowance because I need ½ inch on this side to join it, and I also need ½ inch on this side to join again. So I'll add extra 1 inch on this one. So I'll have a 4.5. So I'll cut it. Or you can just cut it into two, because it's still the same. So if you're making 6 pieces blouse, you don't need to cut this into two. It's because I'm making 12 pieces, that's why. So now I'm going to fold my fabric, the African print. So on the back one, I will cut this one into two also. I'll cut the length that I want on the back one, then I'll cut this into two also. I put my fabric on fold. I want to add 2 inches on each side. So because I want to add 2 inches, you make sure that what you have on this side is up to 2 inches and what you have on this side is up to 2 inches. Okay, so I have up to 2 inches here, and I have lined here the length of the. So I'm going to do it now. Two inches. Inches. This is half length. I'll connect it from this half length to this edge, the 2 inches. I'll do the same on this side. So I'm going to cut it now. I'll cut the same shape on this side. Please label your pattern so that you will not mess it up. On this side, I'll cut it like this. The same shape. This is half length. Then I'll trim this side. So this is what we have. So you label your own so that you'll be sure of the piece that you're using. This one you can see the way I label it, and this is the side one. This one is the side one. I got 3. I labeled it. Like this one can mix up with the back one if you don't label it, but with this one you will know because of this. So I'll fold the other fabric to cut this one, or the center. I'll check if I have up to 2 inches on this side. Do I have up to? Yeah, I have 2 inches on this side. I also have on this side. So I'll put the length of the top will be on this line. I'll pin it. So I'll add 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side. From my waistline, I'll connect it to the 2 inches, the edge. From my waistline here, I'll connect it also. So I'll connect it from the waistline. On this side also, I'll connect it to the 2 inches. So I'll cut it now. So I've cut this one also. I'll trim the lower part. So this is what I have here. It's two pieces. I folded my fabric into two. I folded it this way so that I can manage my fabric. I'll use this side to cut the center back. So, because the pattern, the design on this fabric, you can turn it to any side that you want it. So I'll draw this line here, the length of the, this is the length of the top, the blouse. Here. On this side I'll add 2 inches. I've already have my seam allowance on this one. Two inches. So on this side, what you do on this side is optional. If you want, you can still add your A-line allowance on this side. From your waistline, you add A-line allowance like 2 inches, because this side will be open. This side I will open it. That's where the zip will be. But I don't want to add it on my own. So the only thing I added on this side is zip allowance. This is 1 inch. This line is 1 inch for zip allowance, because I don't have any zip allowance on this one. But if you want your own zip to be at the back, this one will not, you will not add zip allowance here. You will bring it to this side, and you will add your, if you want, you can add the A-line allowance. If you don't want, you can leave it like that. So I've added 2 inches on this side. I'll connect it from my waistline. So I'm going to cut it now. Then I'll open this one. So I'll open this zip line. Okay. So this one is center front. Center front. So this is what we have. So this is what we have. We have 6 pieces now. This is what we have. This is the center one. Number 2, the second one, and the third one. This one is 3 for one side. And this one is center one, and this one is here. This one is this one, 1, 2, 3 for one side one, which is 6 pieces. I want to cut the back one. This is the back pattern, so I've added 1 inch seam allowance. From this is the length of the blouse, 25 inches, and this one is 1 inch seam allowance. So now I'm going to cut it. I don't need this again, so this is the one that I'm going to work with now. So this one, I'm going to cut this one into 2 because I'm making 12 pieces blouse. I'm going to cut this one into 2. So I added 3 inches seam allowance. I'll minus 3 inches seam allowance. I'll check what I have. 7 inches. So from this is 7 inches, from here to this point is 7 inches, and 7 divided by 2, because I'll cut this into 2, is 3.5. But I'll add seam allowance because I need seam allowance on this side to join it to this one, and also here where I'll cut, I need seam allowance to join it also. So I'll add 1 inch seam allowance on this one, which is 4.5. Or you can just cut it into 2, it's still the same thing. And half. So I'll cut this. You know, on this pattern, I added 3 inches seam allowance. 3 inches seam allowance is okay for 12 pieces blouse. So 3 inches seam allowance that I added here. So I need ½ inch to join this one to this one, which is ½ inch here, ½ inch on this side, and ½ inch on this side, which is 1.5. So 1.5, I still have 1.5 left on this side. So it's enough. I have enough seam allowance for this. So now I'm going to fold my fabric to cut this. I'll cut this on fold. I need 2 pieces of this on African print. I need 2 of this and 2 of this. So I want to cut the center back. I need 2 pieces of this, the center back. So I put my fabric on fold. And here, the zip allowance here, I'll cut it off. I minus because I'm not going to fix zip at the back. So the only seam allowance that I need on this line is ½ inch. So I've reduced my zip allowance to ½ inch, and I'll still go in by ½ inch on the half length. So I'll trim it now. I've marked it. So I'll mark 2 inches on this. I'll mark 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side. So I'll connect it from half length to this 2 inches on the hem side, and half length to 2 inches on the hem side here. And on this half length, I still go in by half inch as it is on the pattern. You remember on the pattern, I went in by half inch on the half length. I still have it here. So I'm going to cut it now. So I've cut it. You can see on this zip line I had 1 inch zip allowance, but now I reduce it to half inch seam allowance because I need seam allowance to join this back. I've reduced it to half inch for seam allowance. So I have 2 of this. This is center back. When you're folding your fabric, you make sure that you have 2 inches on this side. How many inches that you want to add, you make sure that you have it on this side and also on this side. So I have 2 on this side. And 2 on this side also. I'll cut it, or I'll connect it. I'm going to cut it now. So I have 2 of this. I folded fabric to cut the last one. So this is the length of the blouse. I'll mark 2 inches on this side. And on this side I'll mark 2 inches. But on this side, which is this side, but the back one, I'll mark 2 inches. But I don't really need to mark up to 2 inches there, because but I'll mark 2 inches because I've already marked on the front one. I will trim it later. 2 inches. I'll connect it to the waistline. So I'll cut it now. Also, okay, I have two of this one also. I want to cut my lining, but I don't want to start cutting it one. I folded my fabric into two. So this lining is one side of the front one. I need two of this, and two of this, the lining, because I have two of this, and two of this. So I'll cut the lining now. So my lining is two. One for this side and one for this side. I'll cut this one and I'll also cut this one. So I've cut out my lining. I have two of each. I have two, and two of this one also, because my lining was on fold, and the two of this one also. So I'll repeat the same on the back one. This is two side front. I folded my fabric into four to cut my este. Why I folded it into four? Because I need four of each. I need four of this and four of this, the este, because I'll put two on the, I'll iron two on the main fabric and two on the lining. That's why I need four este. That's why I folded my este into four. This is an interlining or interfacing, the fabric one. I folded it into four because I want four of this, the este, and four of this. Two for the main fabric and two for the lining. Two for the main fabric and two for the lining. So I'll cut it now. I folded my fabric into four to cut my este. This is a fabric interfacing or interlining. I folded it into four. Why? Because I need two for the, like this one, I have two of this, the main fabric, and I have two of this lining. So I need two to put iron on this one, to fix on this one, and two to iron on the lining also. That's why I folded it into four, to make it easier. So I'll still cut this one also. This is the center front because I'm cutting this side, but I'll still cut this one. So I'll fold the este into four also to cut this one. I'll do the same to the back ones also. You can see I have four of this, four of the interlining. One, two, three, four. Two for the main fabric and two for the lining. So I have four of this one also. So I've cut my este, my interlining or interfacing. I cut 4 of each. This panel, I cut 4 of this because I need to face 2 on the main fabric, because I have 2 main fabric of this panel and 2 on the lining. The same with this panel, I have this 2 of this. I want 2 for it, 2 este interlining for this and 2 for the lining also. And this panel also 4. So I folded the este into 4 and cut it out. Please, when you want to draft your pattern, if you want to make 6 pieces blouse or 8 pieces, any pieces blouse, when you're drafting your pattern, if you want your zip to be on the front side, please put your zip allowance on the front side. If you want it on the back side, put your zip allowance on the back side. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you.